When I look back over my education, it wasn't just teachers who had a massive input into my learning, but my parents, grandparents, and other people who, although I didn't realise it at the time, were role models. A child's learning is a community activity involving family and friends, as well as schools and teachers. And a deaf child's learning often needs an even larger community, involving a mixture of deaf and hearing supporters who can inspire, encourage and inform. How else do we learn about the key skills in life? The foundation of every country is the education of its youth. So said Diogenes Laertes, the biographer of Greek philosophers. So, how are the UK's foundations? Are we building securely for the future? And, more specifically, how are deaf children achieving comparing to their hearing peers? The results aren't looking good. In 2008, 72% of deaf pupils failed to achieve the government benchmark of 5 GCSEs grade A* to C, compared to only 48% across all pupils. So, what are we doing wrong? When I asked the DeafFacts team who their role models were, parents and grandparents came top of the list. Next came employers, particularly first employers, who inspired and encouraged them, even if they were a little scary too. Most importantly, they were people who believed in them and believed they could achieve. Without meeting inspiring people, deaf and hearing pupils will never reach their full potential. We need to motivate and encourage the future generation, both deaf and hearing, to enthuse them about education, both academic and vocational. The foundation of every country may well be its schooling, but as Alexander the Great said, upon the conduct of each depends the fate of all. So we need to ensure that our deaf pupils are getting the support that they need to achieve the success they are capable of. With current government cuts, specialist schools and provision for deaf children is being at best stretched and at worst cut. We need to ensure that deaf pupils don't lose out and the gap in grades widen. Deafness itself is not a learning disability. Learning difficulties arise when deaf children cannot access communication and information. Deaf students need specialist teachers with adequate resources who can match the delivery of information to the students' language learning level. We, as individuals and organisations, need to continue to champion deaf and hearing people alike, making sure that deaf pupils have the support they need to achieve the same grades as their peers. In return, our reward? When we get involved, we have that sense of hope and accomplishment that comes from working together and knowing that we're making things better for the future.